The galaxy had rules. Simple, cruel rules that every advanced species followed without question. The weak were cast out. The broken were abandoned. The different were left to die. Captain Rex Morgan stood on the bridge of the Earth vessel Hope's Dawn, watching the massive space station grow larger on the viewing screen. Station Omega-7 floated in the dark void between star systems, a place where no government claimed territory. It was a dumping ground for the unwanted. "Sir, we're getting close to the station," said Lieutenant Amy Park, her fingers dancing over the control panel. "The readings are strange." Rex nodded. 3 months ago, Earth's long-range scanners had picked up energy signatures from this dead zone. The Galactic Council had marked it as empty space, but something was alive out here. Something the galaxy had forgotten. The station was huge, bigger than Earth's largest cities, but it looked wrong. Parts of it were held together with metal scraps and energy fields. Sections had been built with technology from dozens of different species, all mixed together in a way that should not have worked. "Captain, we're getting a signal," reported Communications Officer Dave Chen. "Put it through." The main screen flickered, and a face appeared. It was not quite human, not quite alien. The being had 4 eyes, blue skin, and breathing tubes where a nose should be. But there was something familiar in those eyes: intelligence, hope, and deep sadness. "Unknown vessel," the being spoke in broken galactic standard. "You should not be here. This is place of the castaway, the broken. Turn back before Council finds you." Rex stepped forward. "This is Captain Morgan of the Earth ship Hope's Dawn. We come in peace. We want to understand what this place is." The 4-eyed being looked surprised. "Earth? The new species? You know nothing of the great casting." "Tell us," Rex said simply. The being was quiet for a long moment. "I am Keeper Nex of the Forgotten Station. Every species in galaxy has cast out ones. The sick, the different, the weak. For 1,000 years, we are left to die in cold space. But we do not die. We survive. We help each other. We become family." The screen changed to show the inside of the station. Rex's breath caught in his throat. Thousands of beings from hundreds of different species lived and worked together. A tall, thin creature with crystal skin helped a small, furry being repair a wall. A group of what looked like living plants shared energy with a mechanical species whose power cells were dying. "The Council species, they throw us away like broken tools," Nex continued. "But we fix each other. We make new life from old pain." Lieutenant Park leaned forward. "Sir, I'm reading massive power signatures throughout the station. They've somehow connected technologies from completely different species. This should be impossible." Rex understood. Each species in the galaxy had developed their own technology, their own way of thinking. The various governments kept their knowledge separate, never sharing, always competing. But here, the outcasts had no choice but to work together or die. "Keeper Nex," Rex said, "we would like to visit your station. Earth is new to the galaxy. We want to learn." Nex's 4 eyes widened. "No Council species has ever asked to visit. They see us as disease, as shame to be hidden." "We're not like the Council species," Rex replied. "On Earth, we have a saying: no one gets left behind." For the first time, Nex smiled. It was a strange smile with too many teeth, but it was real. "You may dock at Bay 7. But be warned, Earth human. What you see here may change how you view galaxy forever." As the Hope's Dawn moved toward the docking bay, Rex watched the station's activity through the windows. Beings that should have been enemies worked side by side. Technologies that should never mix were creating new innovations. And in the deep space where the galaxy had dumped its unwanted, a new civilization was growing. "Sir," Officer Chen said quietly, "what do we do if the Council finds out we're here?" Rex looked at his crew, humans who had volunteered for a dangerous mission into unknown space. Each of them had their own reasons for being here, their own history of not quite fitting in with what was expected. "Then we deal with that when it happens," Rex said. But right now, we're going to learn everything we can about what it means to survive when everyone else gives up on you. The Hope's Dawn settled into the docking bay with a soft thud. Around them, the forgotten station hummed with life, energy, and hope that the galaxy had tried to throw away. The airlock door opened, and Captain Rex Morgan stepped into a world that would change everything Earth thought it knew about survival, community, and what it truly meant to be human. The first thing that hit Rex was the smell. Not the cold, recycled air he expected from a space station, but something warm and alive. It smelled like growing things, cooking food, and the unmistakable scent of a place where people lived, not just survived. Keeper Nex waited for them at the airlock, but he was not alone. A dozen beings from different species stood behind him, all watching the humans with curious eyes. Rex saw creatures he recognized from council records and others he had never seen before. "Welcome to Haven Station," Nex said, using a word Rex had not heard before. "We stopped calling it Omega-7 long ago. That was the council's name for a prison. This is our home." Lieutenant Park stepped beside Rex, her scanner in hand. "Captain, the air is perfectly breathable. The temperature is exactly right for human comfort." How did they know? A small purple creature with 6 arms spoke up in a voice like wind chimes. "We study your ship's signals. We make air good for Earth humans. Is our way. We make place comfortable for all who come." Rex felt something twist in his chest. The galaxy's most advanced species barely bothered to adjust their stations for visiting diplomats. But these outcasts had modified their environment in hours just to make strangers comfortable. "Come," Nex said, leading them down a wide corridor. "We show you how we live." The hallway opened into a vast central area that took Rex's breath away. The space was enormous, with levels stretching up and down as far as he could see. But it was not the size that amazed him. It was the life. Gardens grew on every level, tended by beings whose species had evolved in different environments. A race of crystal creatures, their bodies glowing soft blue, channeled energy to help plants from a dozen worlds grow under artificial suns. Nearby, a group of furry, bear-like beings worked with insect creatures to build new living spaces. "How is this possible?" Officer Chen whispered. "These species shouldn't be able to work together. Their biology, their needs. Different worlds, different bodies, same hearts," said a new voice. Rex turned to see a being that looked almost human, except for the silver skin and the fact that she was floating 3 feet off the ground. "I am Teacher Lin. I help new ones learn to live together." "You teach them cooperation?" Rex asked. Lin's laugh sounded like music. "No, Earth human. They already know cooperation. I teach them to believe in it again." As they walked deeper into the station, Rex began to understand what she meant. Every being here had been thrown away by their own people. The crystal creatures were outcasts because they could not dim their light. The furry beings were rejected because they were too gentle for their warrior culture. The floating woman was cast out because her people feared those who could fly. Each species has idea of perfect, Nex explained as they passed a workshop where impossible technologies work together. Those who do not fit perfect idea are sent away. But here, we learn that different is not broken. They stopped at a large viewing window that looked out into space. Rex could see other stations in the distance, smaller than Haven but clearly alive with activity. "How many outcasts are there?" Rex asked. "In this sector alone." "Nearly 1,000,000 beings across 47 stations," Teacher Lin replied. "Across galaxy? No one knows. We stopped counting long ago." Lieutenant Park was studying her scanner readings. "Sir, these people have solved problems that the Council species have been working on for centuries. Look at this power distribution system. It's feeding energy to technologies that shouldn't be compatible." "When you have nothing," Nex said quietly, "you learn to make everything work. When no one wants you, you learn to want each other." Rex thought about Earth's history. His species had also known rejection, had also learned to survive by working together. But humanity had never faced anything like this. being thrown away by an entire galaxy. Keeper Nex. Rex said, "What happens when the Council finds out we're here?" The four-eyed being's expression grew dark. "They will demand you leave. They will threaten trade, threaten war. No species has ever chosen us over Council approval." "What if someone did?" Rex asked. "What if a species stood with you?" The corridor fell silent. Dozens of different beings stopped their work to listen. In that moment, Rex realized that this was not just a question about politics or trade. This was about hope. Then, Teacher Lin said softly, "For first time in 1,000 years, the outcasts would not be alone." Rex looked at his crew. He saw the same determination in their eyes that he felt in his heart. Earth was young in the galaxy, with little power and few allies. But they had something the Council species seemed to have lost. They remembered what it meant to care about those who had been forgotten. The communication came 3 days later, while Rex was learning about Haven Station's remarkable food production systems. The emergency alert echoed through the ship's corridors, calling all crew back to the Hope's Dawn immediately. On the main screen, Admiral Kate Stone's face appeared from Earth Command, her expression grim. Behind her, Rex could see the busy activity of the command center, and he knew this was not a routine call. "Captain Morgan," Admiral Stone began without pleasantries, "you have created a diplomatic crisis. The Galactic Council has contacted Earth directly. They are not pleased." Rex straightened in his chair. "Admiral, I can explain." "You don't need to explain, Captain. I've read your reports." Stone's voice was steady, but Rex could hear the strain in it. "The question is, what do we do now?" The screen split, and another face appeared. Ambassador John White, Earth's representative to the Galactic Council. His usually calm demeanor was replaced by barely controlled frustration. "Captain Morgan," Ambassador White said, "do you have any idea what you've done? The Council is threatening to cut all trade with Earth. They're talking about declaring our space off-limits to galactic traffic." "Sir," Rex replied, "these people, the outcasts, they're not what the Council claims. They've built something remarkable here. They've built it with stolen technology and forbidden knowledge." White shot back. "The Council has laws about contact with these disposal zones, laws that exist for good reasons." Lieutenant Park leaned forward. "What reasons, sir?" Ambassador White looked uncomfortable. "Disease control, genetic contamination, social stability. These beings were cast out because they threaten the order of galactic civilization." Rex felt anger building in his chest. They were cast out because they were different, because they didn't fit their society's idea of perfection. "That's not our concern," White said firmly. "Our concern is Earth's survival in a galaxy where we're already seen as primitive newcomers. We cannot afford to be labeled as associates of galactic rejects." Admiral Stone held up a hand for silence. "Captain, I need you to understand the situation. The Council has given us an ultimatum. We have 48 hours to cut all contact with these outcast stations and return you to Earth space. If we refuse, they will implement full economic and military sanctions." Rex looked at his crew gathered around him. He saw Officer Chen, who had spent the morning learning about Haven Station's education systems. He saw Lieutenant Park, who had been amazed by the technological innovations created through cooperation between species. He saw the faces of his people who had witnessed something the galaxy had tried to hide. "Admiral," Rex said slowly, "what if we refuse? Then Earth becomes an outcast too." White answered, "We lose access to galactic trade routes, advanced technologies, and protection from hostile species. We become isolated, just like we were before first contact." The communication was interrupted by an incoming signal from Haven Station. Keeper Nex's face appeared on a smaller screen, his 4 eyes filled with sadness. "Earth humans," Nex said quietly, "we monitor Council frequencies. We know of ultimatum. We understand if you must leave." Rex studied the alien's face, and saw something that hit him harder than any council threat. Acceptance. Not just acceptance of abandonment, but the deep, tired acceptance of beings who had learned to expect nothing from others. "We are used to being alone," Nex continued. "It's our way for 1,000 years. We will remember that Earth humans saw us as people, not refuse. That is gift enough." The connection ended, leaving silence on the bridge. Admiral Stone spoke first. "Captain, I want you to know that your reports have been illuminating. The technical innovations alone that these outcasts have achieved could advance Earth's development by decades. But," Rex prompted, "but we're not strong enough to stand against the entire Galactic Council. Not yet." Ambassador White leaned forward. "Captain, you need to understand reality. Earth has a population of 8 billion people. We have colonies on 6 worlds. We cannot sacrifice all of that for 1 million outcasts in dead space." Rex stood up from his chair. "Permission to speak freely, Admiral." "Granted. When I joined Earth Fleet, I swore an oath to protect humanity and our values. Our values don't change based on political convenience." Rex looked directly into the camera. "These beings have achieved something incredible. They've created a society based on acceptance, cooperation, and mutual aid. They've proven that different species can work together better than anyone in the Council believed possible." "That's admirable, Captain," White said, "but it's not practical." "Maybe," Rex replied, "but it's right." Admiral Stone was quiet for a long moment. When she spoke, her voice was thoughtful. "Captain, you have 36 hours before the ultimatum expires. Use that time wisely." The communication ended, leaving Rex alone with his crew and the weight of an impossible choice. Rex stood in Haven Station's central garden, surrounded by beings from 50 different species. Word had spread quickly through the outcast community. Earth faced a choice: abandon the outcasts or face the Council's wrath. "You should go," said Teacher Lin, her silver form floating nearby. "We understand survival. Your species is young. You need time to grow strong." A crystal being named Bright pulsed with soft blue light. "Council will hurt Earth people if they stay with us. We know Council ways. They punish those who help outcasts." Rex looked around at the faces watching him. Each one showed the same thing: understanding, acceptance, and the deep sadness of beings who had learned not to hope for rescue. "What if we don't go?" Rex asked. Keeper Nex's 4 eyes widened. "Then Council will make Earth into outcasts too. Your people will suffer like ours." "Maybe," Rex said. "Or maybe something else happens." Lieutenant Park approached with her scanner readings. "Captain, I've been studying the station's defensive capabilities. They have weapons systems that could give Council forces trouble." "We do not fight," Nex said quickly. "Is not our way. We hide. We survive. We help each other. But we do not fight." "What if you didn't have to hide anymore?" Rex asked. The garden fell silent. Even the artificial wind stopped blowing through the plants. Rex activated his communication device. "Admiral Stone, this is Captain Morgan." Stone's face appeared on the holographic display. "Captain, please tell me you're calling to confirm your departure." "No, Admiral. I'm calling to make a proposal." Behind Stone, Rex could see the Earth Command Center bustling with activity. Ambassador White appeared beside the Admiral, his face already showing disapproval. "Captain," White began, "the Council deadline is in 12 hours. This is not the time for proposals." "It's exactly the time," Rex replied. "Admiral, I've spent 4 days studying these outcast communities. They've achieved things the Council species claim are impossible. They've solved energy distribution problems, created sustainable food systems for multiple biologies, and developed defense technologies that rival anything in Council space. None of that matters if Earth is cut off from galactic civilization," White said. Rex looked around at the beings listening to his words. "What if Earth wasn't alone?" Admiral Stone leaned forward. "What do you mean?" "There are 47 outcast stations in this sector alone. Millions of beings with advanced knowledge and desperate motivation. What if they had a reason to stop hiding? Captain, Stone said slowly, are you suggesting an alliance with the outcasts? I'm suggesting something better than an alliance, Rex replied. I'm suggesting a new kind of civilization. The holographic display flickered as another signal joined the communication. Rex recognized the face immediately. Counselor Vex of the Galactic Council, one of the most powerful beings in known space. Earth human. Counselor Vex's voice was cold as deep space. You will end this contact immediately and return to your territory. The outcasts are forbidden for good reason. Rex stepped forward. What reason, Counselor? They are genetic failures, social deviants, and technological thieves. They threaten the stability of galactic order. They're people, Rex said simply. People who were thrown away because they were different. Counselor Vex's scaled face showed disgust. Difference is disease. Earth human. Order requires conformity. The outcasts represent chaos. The outcasts represent hope, Rex replied. They've proven that different species can work together better than your council ever has. You have 6 hours to depart, or Earth will face the consequences. The connection ended abruptly, leaving Rex facing Admiral Stone's troubled expression. Captain, Stone said quietly, what you're proposing could mean war. What I'm proposing could mean peace, Rex countered. Real peace, based on acceptance instead of fear. Lieutenant Park stepped beside him. Admiral, the outcasts' defensive capabilities are formidable. If Earth provided coordination and resources, they could protect themselves. And then what? Ambassador White demanded. We start a war with the entire Galactic Council. Rex looked around at the garden full of beings who had survived abandonment, rejection, and isolation. They had built something beautiful in the darkness between stars. They had proven that cooperation was stronger than conformity. Maybe war comes, Rex said. But maybe something else happens. Maybe other species see what we've seen here. Maybe they realize that throwing away their different ones makes them weaker, not stronger. Admiral Stone was quiet for a long moment. When she spoke, her voice was steady. Captain, I cannot order you to take this stand. The risk to Earth is too great. Rex smiled. You don't need to order me, Admiral. Some things are worth the risk. He looked around at the outcasts watching him with growing hope in their eyes. Some things are worth everything. The Council fleet arrived exactly on schedule. 12 massive warships carrying enough firepower to destroy a small planet. They took position around Haven Station in perfect formation, their weapons charged and ready. Rex stood on the station's observation deck, watching the display of military might. Beside him, Keeper Nex and the other outcast leaders waited quietly. They had lived with the threat of Council violence for so long that facing it directly almost seemed natural. Earth vessel Hope's Dawn. Came the transmission from the Council flagship. You have 30 minutes to depart or be destroyed along with the illegal station. Rex activated his communicator. This is Captain Morgan. The Hope's Dawn is not leaving. The Council commander's voice carried surprise and anger. Then you have chosen to die for genetic refuse. I've chosen to live for something that matters, Rex replied. What happened next surprised everyone, including Rex. The space around Haven Station began to shimmer as energy fields activated. Dozens of smaller vessels emerged from what appeared to be empty space, outcast ships that had been hidden using advanced stealth technology. Council fleet. Came a new voice over the communication channels. This is Commander Bright of the Haven Defense Force. You are outnumbered. Rex looked at Nex in amazement. Defense Force. Nex's 4 eyes showed embarrassment. We did not tell full truth. Outcasts do not just hide and survive. We also watch and protect each other. The Council commander's voice returned, now less confident. These vessels are constructed from stolen technology. They cannot match Council military might. Perhaps, came another voice, but they do not stand alone. New ships began appearing throughout the system. Rex recognized some of the designs. They were from minor species, worlds that had little power in the Council, but had apparently been watching this confrontation with great interest. "This is Captain Vera of the Talnary Fleet," announced one of the new arrivals. "We stand with Haven Station." "This is Admiral Key of the Centauri Republic. We also stand with the outcasts." More voices joined the communication. Species that had been quiet members of the Council, worlds that had always followed orders without question, were choosing sides, and they were choosing the outcasts. Rex realized what was happening. For 1,000 years, the Council had maintained order by forcing conformity. Every species had sent their different ones away, believing it made them stronger. But now, seeing the outcasts' achievements and Earth's willingness to stand with them, other species were questioning that choice. "This is Admiral Stone of the Earth Fleet," came a new transmission that made Rex's heart leap. "The remainder of Earth's fleet is en route to Haven Station." Rex grabbed his communicator. "Admiral, the risk to Earth has been evaluated, Captain," Stone replied. "Earth's government has voted. We stand with those who have been cast out." The Council commander's voice cut through the chatter. "All species supporting the outcasts will face full military consequences. Return to your territories immediately." "No," came a voice that shocked everyone. It was soft, musical, and belonged to a species Rex had never heard speak before. "This is Speaker Melody of the Silent Ones. For 1,000 years, we say nothing because we are different. Today, we speak." The Silent Ones choose to break their isolation. The Council commander sounded genuinely surprised. "We choose to remember what we forgot," Speaker Melody replied. "Before Council, before rules about perfect and imperfect, we were all different. We were all outcasts on empty worlds until we found each other." Rex watched in amazement as more and more species declared their support for Haven Station. Not just the small, powerless ones, but major Council members who had apparently been questioning the wisdom of abandoning their different ones. Councillor Vex's voice finally returned, filled with fury. "You will all pay for this defiance. The Council will not tolerate this disruption of galactic order." "The Council is not the galaxy," Rex replied. "The galaxy is all of us. The perfect ones and the different ones, the powerful and the forgotten. The Council has maintained peace for 10,000 years. The Council has maintained control," corrected Teacher Lin, her voice carrying clearly across all frequencies. "Peace comes from acceptance, not from throwing away those who do not fit." The standoff continued for hours. The Council fleet remained in position, but they were now vastly outnumbered. More importantly, they faced a coalition that included many of their own member species. Finally, Councillor Vex spoke one last time. "This is not over. The Council will not forget this defiance." The Council fleet withdrew, but Rex knew the Councillor was right. This confrontation had changed everything. The galaxy would never be the same. As the last Council ship disappeared into hyperspace, Rex looked around at the beings who had been called outcasts, genetic failures, and social deviants. They were smiling. Strange smiles from dozens of different species, but all expressing the same thing. For the first time in 1,000 years, they were not alone. The galaxy had remembered how to care for all its children. The end.